Hey everybody, welcome to Amy Nolte Music. From the very beginnings of television shows in the 1940s, there have been some amazing compositions, TV themes, songs that stick in our heads, themes that will forever be ingrained in our memories and associated with the opening credits of our favorite TV shows. Right from the beginning, it seems that the most prevalent kind of themes were orchestral or jazz big band kind of sounds. Here are some examples of the great orchestral themes of the early television years.
It's the 2,206 Howdy Doody Show starring Howdy Doody and Buffalo Bob Smith.
The Lone Ranger.
Leave it to Beaver.
And here are some jazz themes. And of course, these orchestral and jazz sounds in TV themes are all over the airwaves today still.
Hey baby, I hear the blues are calling, toss salads and scrambled eggs.
The late 60s and early 70s ushered in a new kind of sound that was happening on the radio, but also just, I don't know, it was all over TV. It was this Boogaloo kind of sound. I don't quite know what to name it. Maybe like a go-go dance craze kind of sound. And it's both hilarious and awesome to me at the same time. Here are a couple examples. And of course, there were TV themes that they were just telling the story of what was going to happen. They were like setting the stage, giving you a little foundation for what the show actually was.
New York is where I'd rather stay. I get allergic smelling hay.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky, the Addams Family.
Maybe the first one of these was Patty Duke.
From Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights.
And definitely the most informative was the Brady Bunch.
Till the one day when the lady met this fellow, and they knew that it was much more than a hunt.
And then there were TV theme songs that were so good that they were also hits on the radio.
Here we come, walking down the street, we get funny as
Someone by night, someone by day.
no one told you that.
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free.
I don't need you to worry for me, 'cause I'm all right.
A select few could actually be considered masterpieces of harmony and melody. Some were instrumental. Some had far too many lyrics.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute just...
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants!
Absorbent and yellow and porous is he.
Some were upbeat and whimsical.
Sunny day, sweeping the clouds away.
Some were just plain old quirky.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
This is the story of two sisters, Jessica Tate and Mary Campbell.
And some of these themes were as mysterious as the shows themselves.
Space, the final frontier.
There were some themes that will get stuck in your head all day long.
Come and listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food. And
We're moving on up to the side, to a deluxe apartment.
And maybe one of the most common types of TV themes ever, and I mean, also for me as a Gen Xer in the 80s and 90s, but I think it started in the 70s too, was this like over-the-top, sung, like really professional sounding, sometimes a duet between a man and a woman song that was just like written, I think, so that everybody could always remember it. And even if you haven't heard some of these in a long time, I'll bet that they'll come right back to you because they were just such strong compositions. Very cheesy.
Incorporated.
We're gonna do it. Give us any chance, we'll take it.
Come and knock on our door.
Come and knock on our door.
We've been waiting for you.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name. What would we do, baby, without us? What would we do, baby?
There is more to life than what you're living. So take a chance and face the wind.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road.
Ooh, it was you.
Then came you. You made me leap without taking a...
Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a heart, there's a heart.
I came to hold on to.
Okay, Cheers wasn't cheesy. These days, sometimes all it takes to have a good TV theme, especially as our attention spans grow ever shorter, is just kind of a soundscape to set the mood. Some themes from the series that are on TV right now are super interesting.
All I know is, all I know, that you're deep down in my soul.
And what kind of a YouTuber would I be if I didn't actually pick some favorites? I was going to do top 5 or top 10, but it's 8. I picked 8 of my very favorite TV themes, and I just want to briefly talk about them and tell you why I think they're some of the best to ever hit television. The first one I want to talk about is the theme from Good Times. The series came out in 1974 on CBS, And the theme from Good Times is performed by Jim Gilstrap and Blinky Williams. It was written by Dave Grusin. I love this one so much.
Good time. Anytime you need a payment.
You just can't help but dance when you hear it and sing along.
Good time. Anytime you meet a friend.
I love the line, temporary layoffs.
Temporary layoffs. Good time. Easy credit rip-offs.
There's this amazing gospel back and forth, right?
Good time. Scratching and surviving. Good time. Hey.
And the riff at the end.
Ain't we lucky we got 'em? Good time.
It's perfection. WKRP in Cincinnati is one that I think you can still hear on the radio if you're listening to like 70s stations or something. It was a hit, but it's just a great sounding song, and it's got this mellow vibe to it that I love. I'll always let it play if it comes on the radio.
Baby, if you've ever wondered whatever became of.
Baby, if you've ever wondered whatever became of me. This is a good keyboard sound for it, right? The Rhodes, it's got that kind of disco beat going on.
On the air in Cincinnati, WKRP.
And it's fitting that you still hear it on the radio because it was a show about a radio station. It ran from 1978 till 1982. And the song was written by composer Tom Wells with lyrics by the show's creator, Hugh Wilson. Orchestrations were added by Jim Ellis, and it was sung by Steve Carlisle. It's got that melancholy sound that several shows had from the 70s, much like MASH, which is another one of my favorites for sure. Listen to this one. You hear that, coupled with the sound of the helicopter propellers, and you're taken right to the scene of the Korean War, or at least the version that we got to see on TV. I watched it with my grandparents a lot. Suicide is Painless, written by the great Johnny Mandel. It's got a wonderful chord progression that is actually much like a couple of jazz standards. It'll always just hit me right here and be dear to me. I love it. Stu Gardner wrote the Cosby Show theme song, and this theme song went through several iterations over the seasons. But my very favorite was season 4 when Bobby McFerrin did the whole thing by himself. The song is actually called Kiss Me. Don't know why, but it's a jam. Next one for me is probably one of your favorites, I would guess. It's Angela from Taxi, written by Bob James, the great jazz pianist and composer. That part's killer, but how about when it kicks in? Sorry, I could play it all day. So nice. It's one of those other mellow songs from the 70s, early 80s. that I think just calmed us down as we sat down to watch TV. Or my grandparents, my parents. I was super young then, you guys. Next one might surprise you a bit. My mom was a great big fan of the Waltons, and so am I. And whenever I hear that theme song, I just think, man, this is so good. It also went through some different iterations over the years. I like the later years where we get nice drums, nice acoustic guitar, and some electric piano in there. It's still, the theme it was always played by a horn, I think a flugelhorn. And it's a really, really nice theme with really cool orchestration as the years went on. And it takes me right to that spot on Walton's Mountain, that great big house with Mama, Grandpa, Grandma, John Boy, Jim Bob, Mary Ellen. Love them all. Pizzicato strings. Listen to that keyboard kick in the last chorus with the cool little runs and lines and counter melody it's doing. I don't know. I love it. All right, this next one is a jam. It was written in 1973 by the great Quincy Jones for the show Sanford and Son. The Street Beater is the real name of it, and it was originally released by A&M Records on Jones's 1973 album, You've Got It Bad Girl. It was the single from that album. It's so dang killer. From that bass line that walks us in, to that wah guitar, the heavy baritone sax, the little tiny harmonica fills, the orchestrations are impeccable, and it was just a joy to hear that song come on right before the hilarious show Sanford and Son. The next one might not come as a surprise to you because I have recorded a cover of it on my YouTube channel. It's Welcome Back, Kotter by John Sebastian. It actually hit #1 on the Billboard charts, and for good reason. I love this song. No matter what's going on with me, if I put this song on, it calms me down. I feel better, like everything's gone away and the world is a calmer, clearer place somehow.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out.
Check out that quarter note.
Welcome back to that same.
The melody, the harmony, it's all just perfection for me.
Well, the names have all changed since you hung around.
Well, the names have all changed since you've been around. Maybe that's my favorite part, but the next line's really good too.
But those dreams have remained and they've turned around.
And then it kicks in.
Back here where we need you. Cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back.
Welcome back. And then you watch the show. I was too young for that show. I don't really remember it. I promise. But I love the song. Thanks for hanging out with me, talking about TV theme songs. There's so many good ones. Put your favorites in the comments. I know I've missed a lot. I actually made a Spotify playlist with all of these and others that I considered putting in this YouTube video. It's in the description. You can go listen to it. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you next time on Amy Nolte Music.